Check 1, 2. Hey. So, hey, friends, we have 106 days until I perform a keynote in Switzerland. So, let's jump in with the intro. Bum, 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 bum. A shift in tone, not quite closure, but a piercing alert to pay close attention. Nobody plans on hitting zero, and they definitely don't plan to do so in a foreign country with 4 young kids. It took our family 12 relocations over the course of 1 year to get to Japan. A 13th relocation after a messy exit from a decade-long career in surgical robotics at Johnson Johnson to continue life in Tokyo through all in entrepreneurship. And a 14th relocation when after 7 months we failed and hit zero for the first of 3 times. I remember my wife desperately challenged me that the dream was over, that a scorched earth transition from Tokyo to Chicago was the only path ahead. That or bankruptcy in Japan. At a total loss, I replied, show me how the hell we get to Chicago with no job, no cash flow, and no expat company support. But somehow, in just 20 days, our home was miraculously packed out in an international sea shipping container, and I was on a plane with my family just in time for Halloween in our hometown, wondering what comes next. I'd like to start today's discussion by establishing that today is not about me. It's not even about you. It's about a colorectal surgeon in Osaka who struggles to safely position and fire a powered stapler because it wasn't designed with her hand size and grip strength in mind. It's about an 82-year-old woman coughing up blood during a manual bronchoscopy biopsy as she's navigating both thoracic cancer and multiple comorbidities. It's about a young surgeon in Okayama who struggles to adapt from manual laparoscopy to robotic surgery on liver because he can't manage excessive blood loss without a CUSA ultrasonic device. It's about the 52-year-old man in Kyoto who underwent anesthesia to remove his colon cancer and woke up 11 hours later with a stoma bag due to unforeseen complications, impacting how he'll use the restroom for the rest of his life. Today's discussion is about how far we are willing to go to progress meaningful innovation on behalf of the global patients and clinicians we serve. It's about why so many startups and large medtech strategics fail to progress global healing at scale. And most importantly, I get 30 minutes to geek out with you on how we cut people up and put them back together with robots. We got a lot of ground to cover. So let's sit up, take a breath, and get to work. Bum, 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 bum. This tone that you hear is a marvelous innovation that I progressed for many years at Johnson Johnson, and it's common on something called ultrasonic technology on a platform we have called Harmonic. If you know anything about music theory, and I'm a musician, if you pluck a guitar string, it creates a distinct sound wave that vibrates at resonance. Well, at Ethicon, we create a distinct sound wave through a long, thin titanium blade that causes it to vibrate at resonance, like a guitar string. When we bring this blade in contact with tissue, the friction creates immense amounts of heat, allowing us to cut and seal without bleeding. And when you finish that transection, it can detect it based on a lot of AI algorithms and a touch magic. And it'll alert the surgeon with that change in tone that they should pay close attention because they've probably completed the transection. Now, the way we train these algorithms involves hundreds, if not thousands, of transections with multiple devices in a way that's statistically significant on a wide range of tissue. And Johnson Johnson had a really interesting contract with Bob Evans, which makes sausage in America. And they would perfectly excise out carotid arteries out of pigs, jejunum, which is like your intestines, other organs that we would cut through. And I still smell the sizzling carotids every once in a while when I'm making Japanese curry. There's just something about pork shoulder that has the same scent as all the other organ tissue. And I know this is nasty, but I just want to help you understand like the amount of work and diligence required to progress an algorithm that improves patient outcome. Because if the surgeon continues to activate the device beyond when that transection is complete, you're going to wear through a Teflon pad. You're going to get metal on metal contact. This could cause the blades to overheat. The tips can actually break off into the patient. That's titanium, which is inert, but it's still suboptimal. And it leads to a lot of surgeon frustration and complaints. And we had a great algorithm that progresses through that. Okay, so anyway, that last part, this is basically going straight into the tissue lab, and I wrote wing it. Some of those pieces came from my TED talk. We'll definitely need to type it up and tighten it up. But what I want to do is provide some context on what does this tone mean and nerd out on the engineering and provide some proximity into what harmonic is, how I got into robotics. So there's probably a hook there that I missed. And then the other piece is getting to the point in the story where what if we were still missing something, that all this work we put in still wasn't enough? Because there's this other kind of anchor expression I have from, I think, another, was it my TED talk? No, this is a talk I shared internally with J&J. It's the idea that like proximity, I wrote it down in a pitch deck. Let me find it really quick because it was good. I pull up Canva. Proprietary pitch deck. It's at the end, I believe. Right here. Proximity drives belief, and belief allows us to hear and internalize stories that are difficult. Stories that say that what we've worked on for years still isn't good enough. Yet stories that convict us to push further, which is quoted by me. But this is a theme that I want to pull. I'm going to copy this right now before I lose it. This is a theme that I want to pull in as kind of an anchor from that section. So we'll go through harmonic, we'll go through all the work that went into all the years of know-how. But then why are we getting all these complaints from Japan and all the gaslighting that occurs? And this is kind of a shift towards harmonic 1100. And then eventually seeing it in Japan. And then we'll get to the 12 moves and all that. So this is kind of the flow we're going through. I was originally going to take it back to a car accident, but I think it's too far in the past. I might circle back to it in a moment. But for now, I think getting right to the tissue lab and then getting into robotic surgery and into the failure space is actually more important. Cool. Well, friends, that is 8 minutes of practice. This keynote is in 106 days. I officially have an affiliate link. So if this would be great for your personal development or for members of your team to be able to connect with other amazing medtech pharma innovators in Europe, I'll be performing this keynote on innovation from the margins. I'll be doing a workshop on hitting zero and how to have kind of this audacity to master the art of public failure, to take greater risks as a team, and to not really care what people think about you, which is essential with entrepreneurship. And then for members that join through my link, if they let me know, I will also do something special. I don't know if we'll go for a morning run or some kind of meetup. It'll be great. So if this fits with your personal development, I'll see you in Basel in like 106 days, which is fantastic. And that's all I got, friends. I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to take a shower and clean up a bit, but happy Sunday. And I'll see you on the next one. Keep changing the world.